This is Ryan Hicks, and I just want to give some feedback on my MOOC that I just finished for my major digital project. When we're talking about the benefits of the MOOC that I participated in was a songwriting MOOC offered by Coursera through Berklee College of Music. And prior to our class starting with Alex and Katya in September, I had no idea what a MOOC is. And I'm a little embarrassed because I think I'm pretty tech savvy, but I just was not familiar with it. I was familiar with iTunes University, which I guess is an example of the open learning concept, and I posted some stuff on iTunes U through the years. But as far as taking a MOOC, I never done that, so it was interesting for me. The reason why I took the songwriting one is I'm a musician, and I feel pretty comfortable with the music side of it, but the lyric part was always something that I've always struggled with, so I wanted to learn more about that. So the benefits of this was very, very easy access. Coursera has a app, so I was able to put on my phone, on my tablet, on my home computer, and the way the class is set up is it's mostly a series of videos, lectures, and there are tests that go with it. The videos would run anywhere from 4 to 14 minutes, just depending on the topic. It would usually be about one thing and just develop that idea. And often I would just have my phone playing the video if I was in the kitchen making supper or at work correcting. Other benefits is it's free in the sense that anyone can take it. There is a paid option to receive a certificate at the end, and I ended up choosing to do that route. And the only reason for that was as a musician, I often apply for government subsidies for recording grants and that sort of thing. And I thought that would help my chances to prove that I've, taken the time to try and improve my craft. So I chose to take the paid route, which was $50 for basically the certificate. But the class itself, you can have all the content for free, which was wonderful. I found that the class was personal. The way it was shot is the instructor, Pat Patterson, would talk directly to you in the camera, and he would often use humor. He was often like casually dressed, and it just was relaxing. Any classes that I saw as online classes before were usually shot within an existing classroom with students with a camera on a tripod at the back of the room, and it felt a little creepy, like you're just like some voyeurism of watching this class happening and not actually taking part in the class. Whereas the way it was shot, it was just like this, like talking directly to the camera. Sometimes he would joke around, and that kind of made me relaxed. One of the things I appreciate is the instructor worked through his own songs and talked about his own struggles, and we could see kind of in each step of his song where the improvements were. He'd say, well, here's kind of a weak area, and this is why it's weak, and what can we do to improve it. And so that really helped because it showed that he was human. It's not like he's some magic force that just magic words come out of his pen, or when he types the words out, that he struggles just like you or I. And I really liked that we reviewed each other's work. That was part of the course, is that you submitted your assignment on a Monday, and usually the assignments were posted on like Tuesday, and that you would have to review a minimum of 5 other students' works. And that was really good because I received some excellent feedback from the others, that things I didn't necessarily consider, or things that I was kind of unsure about, but did not necessarily know how to improve on them, and they gave me some helpful tips. And I really felt that those suggestions helped improve my songs, and it was very supportive collaboration. That was nice. And it's such a strange personal endeavor to write your own songs. It was nice to feel like you're collaborating with someone, even though that they're far away from you. Some of the challenges or things I didn't like about the MOOC is the workload. It was said that it was a 6-week class, and that each week you would have 6 to 8 hours of work. But for most weeks, I ended up putting in well over that. The reason for this is I would rewatch the videos of the course over and over again. And for my assignments, I would take a long time to do my assignments and work on them, and make changes. Now, that's not necessarily the fault of the class, but it is something that just as a matter of fact, I spent much more time doing on that. And this is an area where I struggled, because trying to put in the amount of time that I needed to put in with the MOOC, and then also with our EC&I class. And the thing was too with the MOOC is assignments had to be done by certain days, or you would receive a 0. You couldn't get an extension or anything like that. So that was challenging. I absolutely understand the reasons for that, but it was a challenge to just time management. So many people in the class that were taking it were not really cut out for the class. Either it was an issue with English or just basic technology, like how to post your music, how to record your music properly. Like, for example, as I'm speaking to you, I'm recording into a microphone, so the audio is a little better than just singing into, say, your camera. Or just, basic things like knowing the English language. I mean, there's so many international students, and that's fine, but so much of songwriting was in English is about rhyme and about how the words flow together and even the meaning of things. And there were definitely some language barriers. In the same way that I'm sure if I knew a little bit of Mandarin, for example, if I took a creative writing class in Mandarin without knowing the nuance or how the language worked, I would really struggle with being poetic as the flow of my ideas. How would you describe your experience in the MOOC? I would say for sure I would take another MOOC in the future. I really enjoyed learning about it, and the fact that you could take just about anything you wanted. There were so many different classes that Coursera and I'm sure others offer that it was really cool just to see that. Did I find the open format beneficial? In some ways I did. I do think it was cool to collaborate with people all over the world. And while the English language was a barrier, you could still tell that these people were artists and had really good ideas for songs. How might you leverage existing MOOC or MOOC-inspired pedagogy in the learning environments that you develop for students? At first, when I took the class, I wasn't really thinking about my students. I was thinking about, I'm interested in this, but there's so much in the MOOC that would apply absolutely to what I do in the classroom. I do a songwriting unit with my students, and where I find students struggle the most is just generating ideas, just getting that first step. And kind of once you lead them into a few ideas, they seem to get there. It's kind of similar to when we were doing the digital storytelling, how when we were looking at the pick flicker, I think it was, the flicker thing where it would show a picture that was meant to just kind of generate some ideas. There's so many things in this MOOC that did that. Like, for example, one of the questions that we have is, what did you learn? The first thing that we talked about is the idea that there's 3 boxes when you write a song, but this could apply to any story. So the first box is kind of like the basic thing, what your story's about, and then the second box, you have to develop that idea. Like, for example, it has to hold not only the information of the first box, but introduce new information. And then the last box, the third box, has to hold the other 2 boxes worth of information, but also bring in something new to develop the story, to keep it moving forward. So what was neat about this is, you notice I'm not talking, here's what you do in the first verse, here's what you do in the second verse, here's what you do in the chorus. He used the idea of boxes rather than that. And that really helped just the flow of the ideas. He introduced the concept of your 6 best friends, which are who, what, when, where, why, and how. So when you're writing a story or writing a song, I guess, to ask yourself those questions, and that really helped. And the thing that I took away is one of the most important things is the concept of the bow and arrow. So when we sit down to do this work on the boxes, and then say work on the 6 best friends, or then generate rhyme ideas and all this kind of groundwork to start thinking about our song rather than just start writing the song, it's like going like this with the bow. It's like you're all working towards that, you're getting ideas, you're putting it together, you're starting to think of how it can do it. And then once it's time to do that, it's like, psh, and your arrow just goes. As opposed to if you just start and try and write the song, boom. So that really helped, because what I did find is it's true. The first 4 weeks of the 6-week MOOCs were just a lot of groundwork, and then the last 2 weeks where we were starting to put them all together and write songs, it went very quickly. Like, I was able to kind of streamline the process and get quite good results. Not very sure. So those seem simple enough, but when you put them in the context of a song, it really was remarkable, just the improvement of my songs, and I felt much stronger as a songwriter. And the experience of the MOOC was great. I definitely recommend more people to explore MOOCs, and for those people that in this class that did a MOOC for their digital project, hopefully you had a similar experience. Thank you for listening to my story, and I'm also sharing the results of my class. My final project was writing a song, and I will share that with you. It's a song really close to me called All the Love You've Shown Me, and I'll also share with you kind of a few of the earlier drafts of the song, so hopefully you can get an idea of how the song progressed. Thanks a lot.